Everyone, I am the Bravos Hatter and this is my deck guide for Kojo in the Foundry. A lot of discussion is already happening on the official Discord server, so I decided to create this video to show you how I am playing this deck and tell you about the reasoning behind my choices. First up, I got the 3 copies of Foundry Axiom Bastion itself. This card makes it so that the next character you play will also trigger its reserves abilities, resulting in a lot of value for most of my picks. The other permanent I use are 3 copies of the rare version of Haven, Bravos Bastion. It gives all characters a 1 boost reserve ability, which can be triggered by Foundry as well. As Bravos is relatively weak in the draw department, having access to some resupply is very welcome. So that's why I use this rare version over the common one. The next rare card, which I think is really needed, is Order Spy. I run it at 3 copies as well. Sabotage from hand and from reserve at 3/3/3 stats on 2 bodies. This card is doing some real work for me and most of the time it's crippling the opponent with sabotage. But the most important part here is that it's a 2 cost from reserve, which is really what I look for to smooth out my mana curve. This card is going to be much better next set with that Arcolano Milk, giving itself and the token both a boost. Sun Wukong completes my must-have rares with 2 copies. I used to play 3, but I feel 2 is just enough. So they don't block my reserve too much, as they will remove fleeting from itself when played from reserve. Playing this on turn 1 and turn 2 is a very common play for me. First of my 2 flexible rare slots, Bravos Vanguard. This card's making sure my good reserve cards can be played again and again. Just like Wukong, this card is getting value by removing fleeting from other cards, effectively drawing you a card if used 2 times. You can include the common for the same effect, but I like that extra boost. Axiom Salvager is the last rare for my list and the second flexible slot. I play 2 of them. This card has a nice resupply from reserve and has a 1/2 cost to play. With Foundry you can even resupply twice. As I got some flexible slots, Foundry Armor is probably the card most other people are also running. I got this card for the Bravos Vanguard, but I do think they are interchangeable. As soon as set 2 is here, I might swap them back. The Arcolano Milk is the reason why. Giving a boost and fleeting to characters in an expedition is really helpful. You can play Armor and a Buck, being both boosted getting 2 3/3/3s for 3 mana, or with Foundry you can target Buck in the Milk lane and an Armor in the other for a 5/5/5 word on stats for just 2 mana. That's insane, but for now I'm sticking to the Vanguard. The other honorable mention is the rare Mana Eruption. This card is just a mana cheaper than the common version, which in certain matchups could be what you need. For the commons, we start off with Ratatosker, a simple 1/1/1 for 1 and a 3/3/3 for 3. But with Foundry it becomes a 3/3/3 for 1, or even with Haven in play, a 4/4/4 for 1. Very nice common. Then I got a lot of 2-offs, starting with Chiron. This card is here for the 2 cost. Another favorite turn 1 play for me when I'm the first player. Playing this and a 1 cost will make sure you most of the time win both lanes. Bravos Tracer, good stats for 2 mana. Only play 2 because of the fleeting. Tiny Jin is only here for the extra mana needed for Mana Eruption. If set 2 has some other good commons with reserve effects, this would be the first card I would remove. Though it can be useful for Foundry to get them into mana quick. Next up, the Haven Bouncer. Just like the Spy, always happy to draw to the sabotage effect. Countering less than 3. And lastly, Haven Warrior is my filler common. I experimented with a lot of cards. This can easily be replaced by another common you like. I might go back to add another Chiron and another Tracer instead of this one. Lastly, we have the spells. Helping Hand is a Vanguard without a body. 1 mana, remove fleeting and give a boost. It's just a small spell I like to run for the same ways as the Vanguard. Though I must admit I rarely use the spell twice, as reserves getting full quickly. Intimidation is a much needed spell to bounce boosted or anchored characters back to the opponent's hands. It can even be used on your own characters when needed. Try to win a lane when using this as your opponents get the cards back to their hand. Therefore I only run 2. My last common card is the Mana Eruption. This will remove everything with a cost of a single mana orb. Try not to use this when you are below 7 mana, as it will probably cripple you more than it hurts the opponent. Tiny Djinns are here to help you get that discarded mana back. For the uniques, I would run 3 good characters reserve abilities. If possible, even 2 abilities on 1 card. I use myself this very nice Foundry armor, which let me win both expeditions a lot of the time. Definitely with Foundry on the field. So look for those double reserve ability uniques. The overall game plan is to always move forward. You want to progress as quickly as possible. Look for ways to double win expeditions on the first few turns of the game, but never at the cost of not progressing at all. When you are the first player, Buddha helps you winning double expeditions. With Foundry on the field, every character you play can become huge for its mana cost. So dropping this card early helps you in the long run. But be aware you don't get behind too much in the turn you are playing Foundry. When not finding Foundry, try to play around Haven and the boost it is giving. Brothos already has good stat mana value, and with Haven things get out of hand really quickly. Let's go over some early plays. When you are the first player, you can start off with Foundry. Buddha will try to hold the lane on its own. Normally, your opponent will not win both sides with this play, and giving away one expedition to play Foundry is most often of the times worth it. Do not play Foundry on turn 1 when you are not the first player. This will give them the opportunity to win both sides from the start. It is sometimes hard to get back from, even with a Foundry in play. You can however play Foundry on turn 2 when you are the first player then, and even activate Ratatoskr afterwards. Another play I like a lot is turn 1 and turn 2 play Sun Wukong. If you don't have Foundry or Haven in hand, this will be the play for me. Just winning an expedition twice is a very good start with this deck. Drawing some cards without the need to spend those. The last play I would suggest is playing a 1-cost character with Chiron, specifically when you are the first player. Playing a 1-cost on your hero expedition first. Your opponent will play a card and after that you can choose where to play the Chiron. You can put it in your hero expedition and buff your Buddha, or you can buff itself. You will end up with a 2/2 on one side and a 3/3 on the other one. This is a lot of the times enough for winning both sides. If your opponent plays a 4/4, you can even tie that on the companion side, but your opponents probably will not play it there. Well, thanks for watching this Kojo Foundry deck. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And if you are playing this deck, let me know what you think of it and what list you are running. Until the next time.